everyone, welcome to another video. Today I wanted to share with you something I've been working on for the past couple of weeks. So it's a project that I've named When Dinosaurs Ruled the Earth, and basically it's like my own dinosaur documentary. It takes place in Hell Creek Formation towards the end of the Cretaceous period. Probably the main inspiration for it is Walking with Dinosaurs. And in fact, there is a really cool reference to that series in this. I'm not going to tell you what it is, you're just going to have to find it for yourself, but I'm pretty sure if you have seen that series, then you will recognize it. Also, how this is going to work is basically I've recorded some commentary, and I'll also put up paleo art on screen. It's not a video that you really have to watch, but you can just kind of listen to it, you know? So, yeah. So, I am in the process of actually making a part 2 to this video, but I probably won't release that unless if you guys enjoy this one. So, just make sure, let me know in the comments down below if you actually want to see a second part to this. Because this one took a really long time to make, and I won't make a second one unless if you guys really like this. But just don't expect that video to come out like tomorrow, you know? Because it did take a really long time to make this one with all research and editing and all the thingies. So anyway, with all that out of the way, I hope you enjoy. Deep in the jungle there lies a giant predator. This is the infamous Tyrannosaurus rex. T-Rex is quite possibly the most famous dinosaur. Popular culture has portrayed the animal as a ferocious beast. However, right now, this ferocious beast is taking a nap. Tyrannosaurus might have done this often to conserve energy. But this particular T-Rex can't rest for long. This is Sue, an absolute giant in the T-Rex world. She is nearly 40 feet long and weighs in excess of 30,000 pounds. Though Sue has a ferocious appetite, now she has a couple extra mouths to feed. She has a batch of 5 newborn T-Rex chicks, each of which is covered from head to toe in downy red fluff. As they age, these feathers will slowly disappear. They are so young they still have a small horn on the end of their nose. This is called an egg tooth. Helps the hatchlings break free of their eggs. In the coming days, the egg tooth will vanish entirely. Right now, the hatchlings are completely helpless and rely on their mother to get them food. Today, carrion is on the menu for the chicks. Even at such a young age, the chicks have razor-sharp teeth. But once they get older, they will develop powerful jaw muscles to bite with, giving them an extremely powerful bite force. Elsewhere, a large herd of Triceratops tramples through the undergrowth. Like modern grazing animals, they are an important part of the ecosystem. They keep the grass short and stop it from growing too much. This baby is already a meter long and has just as much of an appetite as the adults. The group is led by a dominant male. He retains his right to mate by fighting off intruders and kicking young males out of the group once they are old enough to be a threat to his power. Because of this, young males often form small groups together for protection. If they survive to adulthood, these males will try and challenge his dominance. Unfortunately for this male, he is no match for the alpha. Later that day, the Triceratops herd has moved on to an open plain. Unbeknownst to them, they are being hunted. A small group of 3 Tyrannosaurs is stalking the herd. This is unusual for a T-Rex, but it seems this band of Tyrannosaurs has figured out they can hunt much more successfully when they work as a group. They see the baby Triceratops as an easy target. Later, under the cover of darkness, they go for it. Triceratops herd scatters in all different directions. In the chaos, the baby Triceratops is separated from his mother. It calls out to its mom, but she is nowhere to be seen. The T-Rexes hear the calls of the baby and use that to find it. But right as one is about to make a snack of the baby, the infant's mother steps in. She uses her large horns and frill to intimidate the attacker. In response to this, the Tyrannosaur runs away. For a Tyrannosaurus, it would be suicide to take on a healthy, fit adult Triceratops, especially a mother protecting her baby. In the morning, it is revealed that the trio made a kill. It's a juvenile Triceratops. Many infants never see their first year, but it seems this is not enough food to satisfy all 3 tyrants. For them, this is the only disadvantage of hunting in groups. Since they don't normally do this, they haven't evolved social hierarchies like most pack-hunting carnivores. Because of this, the Tyrannosaurs are forced to leave to find more food elsewhere. Later that day, they come across a nest of T-Rex chicks. It seems the mother is off looking for food. Sensing the danger, the babies call out, a similar behavior to modern alligators. A couple hundred meters away, the mother's parental instincts kick in. The mother's ears are poised to hear the distress calls of an infant tyrannosaur from miles away. She gets to the nest fast, and once she gets there, she lets out a mighty roar to scare off the attackers. Even though this startles the pack, they are determined to get some food. But the mother is not having any of it. She is Sue, the same mother from before. Her strive to save her babies' lives is infinitely great. One of the Tyrannosaurs lunges for the nest, but is quickly stopped by Sue, who clamps her jaws down on the Tyrannosaur's neck, killing him almost instantly. It is thought that Tyrannosaurus rex had the most powerful bite force of any terrestrial animal. The other two Tyrannosaurs run off, defeated. Sue lets out a triumphant roar, signifying her dominance. By the next day, the carcass is almost completely stripped of meat by the T-Rex family, and the mother is forced to find more food for the babies. While she is gone, the scavengers have an opportunity to eat what is left of the carrion. Around here, the Quetzalcoatlus act as a cleanup crew. They are a huge species of pterosaur. In fact, they are the largest creatures to ever fly. They look incredibly bizarre. They have a long, sharp beak that takes up the majority of their head, and they possess a bony crest above their incredibly small eyes. Their head is perched up on a neck long enough to rival that of a giraffe. And to top it all off, they have a wingspan of nearly 40 feet. They are like a giant marabou stork. Most of the time, they eat carrion, but will oftentimes eat small live animals as well. A T-Rex chick that has wandered from the nest proves an easy meal. One day, its siblings might grow big enough to make a meal of the Quetzalcoatlus. Once the mother T-Rex gets back, it's time to go. The Quetzalcoatluses spread their wings spread and fly off. 5 years have passed, and the baby Triceratops from earlier is now being forced out of the herd by the dominant male. His mother calls out in anger, but it is no use. There is nothing in this forest that can stop an adult male Triceratops. Later on, the young male encounters a traffic jam. It's herd of Montosaurus, a huge hadrosaur that can grow nearly 40 feet long. Just like the Triceratops, the herd is led by an alpha male. He is 42 feet long. He is big even for an Edmontosaurus. Once they get to this size, not even the T-Rexes will go for them. However, there's one predator that will, a Dakota raptor. Looking at this creature, it is easy to see dinosaurs' relation to birds. Even though it's a fraction of the size of a T-Rex, Dakota raptor has a secret weapon. It is not alone, and somewhere nearby are the rest of the pack. They have been stalking the herd for 3 days, and it seems that the time is right. The matriarch calls out to the others. The Edmontosaur herd is startled and rear up in defense. Then, suddenly, the Dakota raptors come out of the bushes to attack. Like lions today, the raptors go for the young, the old, and the weak. An injured female is a prime target. One of the raptors uses its powerful hind legs to jump up on the back of the female. It attacks with its 4-inch sickle claws on each foot, digging them into the side of the Edmontosaur. The second raptor jumps up onto the animal's neck, biting down on it with its razor-sharp teeth. Elsewhere in the herd, the matriarch Dakota raptor goes for a juvenile, but the alpha male Edmontosaurus steps in. He uses his powerful leg muscles to kick the raptor straight in the stomach, sending it hurtling backward. The kick is so powerful, it damages the organs of the raptor, killing it. Elsewhere, the female Edmontosaurus has finally succumbed to the raptor's attack. It will provide a feast for the pack later on. The raptors drag the body elsewhere as to not be bothered by other carnivores. The death of the matriarch is a serious blow to the raptor pack. Normally, the matriarch eats first, then the other adults, and then lastly, the juveniles. But the absence of a leader has caused confusion and conflict within the group, and they fight over who gets first pickings. But in the heat of the chaos, none of them notice another creature sneaking towards them. Then suddenly, the creature pops out of the bushes and lets out a bird-like call, scaring away the raptors. It's a dinosaur called Anzu. It looks like a cross between a cassowary and one of the raptors, and in fact, it is a distant relative of both. Like the raptors, he is covered in feathers. Unlike the Dakota raptor, however, he isn't very threatening and doesn't have any weapons to catch live prey. To combat this, he has evolved brightly colored feathers that he uses to surprise and scare off other predators, allowing him to steal their food. But he isn't getting food for himself. He comes back to his mate with some food for her. They nuzzle to show affection. She is sitting on a nest of eggs. Because of this, the male must constantly come to her with food so she doesn't starve. He will continue to do this until the eggs hatch. The female Enzu must keep a watchful eye. Here, there are predators who love to snack on dinosaur eggs. A few meters away, a Paleocenoa, a large Gila monster-like creature nearly 2 meters long. It approaches slowly as to not catch the attention of the mother, but she has the eyes of a hawk. In an instant, she is up and squawking at the intruder. Defeated, the Paleocenoa lumbers off. He must find food elsewhere. It has been nearly a year, and it is now the time of year in which dinosaurs lay eggs. In an open plain, we see a herd of Ankylosaurus as they come to a lake to drink. They are heavily armored, and have bony plates covering their body. Many creatures have come to this lake to drink. A small lizard called Obamodon comes to the edge of the water, but its drinking is interrupted when a prehistoric alligator called Brachycampsa lunges out of the water to try and eat it. But the Obamodon has speed on its side, and uses its quick reflexes to dodge the alligator's attack. A Paleocenoa sees an easy opportunity for meal. These lizards can go months without eating, but it seems this one has its eye fixed on potential prey. An ancient horseshoe crab called Castorolaimulus has found itself upturned and out of the water. It is a sitting duck for the large lizard, who gobbles the crab up, shell and all. Another creature comes down to drink. It is a Torosaurus, a massive relative of Triceratops. Its kind are rare here. This one is a visitor from the south. Normally, Torosaurus travel in herds, but this male has been separated from his herd for some time now, and is vulnerable alone. Around here, there is safety in numbers, and this animal has taken this to heart. It's a Denversaurus, a smaller relative of the armored Ankylosaurus. This Denversaurus travels with an Edmontosaur herd. When it lives among dozens of other dinosaurs, there is less of a chance that he will be killed by predators. Across the plain, a group of Pachycephalosaurus is gathered. For them, it is the rut. The male Pachycephalosaurus fight for the right to mate. Contrary to popular belief, the Pachycephalosaurs didn't use their domed skulls to ram each other's heads. If they were to do this, it would simply shatter their skulls. In reality, these ornaments are mainly for display. Most of the time, these disputes are won by the male with the largest domed skull, but occasionally it will lead to a brawl. The Pachycephalosaurs use their powerful arms to wrestle each other. The strongest individual wins the right to mate. As for the loser, he will venture off in search of a partner somewhere else. Elsewhere, the Dakota raptor has grown in numbers. It seems the pack has recovered quite well since the death of the matriarch a year ago, and there is now a new alpha. Right now it is breeding season, and this female Dakota raptor is sitting on a patch of eggs. Like modern-day birds, the mother will closely guard them for 2 weeks until they hatch. During this time, she will not eat. Because of this, the roles in the pack are reversed. For a short period of time each year, the males do the hunting. The band of 3 males is off searching for food. One of them is a juvenile. This will be his first hunting trip. During this time of year, it is vital for the youngest males to learn hunting skills. If they don't now, they will never be able to hunt successfully. Unfortunately, it seems that to get to the hunting grounds, the group will have to cross a large lake. Crossing large bodies of water is dangerous even for Dakota raptor. Here, there are hidden predators that lie below. Since the females normally do the hunting, they know the safest routes to take in order to cross, but the males don't know the hunting grounds well enough to have that knowledge. But the pack must eat. The 2 adults are wary. They have seen the dangers that lie under the surface of this lake. They are forced to swim across the middle of it, where it is deep enough to conceal a large body. One by one, they take a leap of faith and get to the other side. But it seems the juvenile Dakota raptor is having trouble swimming across. Its struggle is like a magnet for anything lurking below, and suddenly the young Dakota raptor is dragged under by a large brachycampsa, a prehistoric alligator. On land, the Dakota raptor is the top predator, but the water is the brachycampsa's domain, and it seems the hunter has become the hunted. Later, the two males come back with a dead Paleocenoa. The large lizard will provide a banquet for the pack. Like modern lions, the Dakota raptors have a sophisticated pack structure. When feeding, it becomes apparent the clear hierarchy within the pack, starting with the alpha female, then the other females, then the males, and finally the young Dakota raptors. It seems that every pack member will get a piece of this meal. In the time that has passed, the young male Triceratops from earlier has grown. He is now big enough to take on the alpha male that kicked him out of his herd nearly a year ago. His horns have started to develop. Now, instead of pointing down towards the ground, they curve upwards, making them a lethal weapon. He is in his prime, and over time, the alpha male has grown weak with age. As he approaches the herd, he emits low-frequency sounds that signal he is ready to claim dominion of the herd. The alpha male responds. He rocks his massive head back and forth, displaying his horns. The smaller male does the same. As they do this, they flush blood into their frills, which turns their frill a reddish-brown color. This tactic is used by males to intimidate their opponent, but it seems neither male is backing down. Suddenly, they charge at each other, locking their horns. Though the alpha male is larger, he has lost his vigor. He is now much more vulnerable than he was a year ago. The younger male takes advantage of this. He quickly twists his head, causing one of the alpha's horns to snap. Defeated, the previous alpha runs off. He will survive this injury, but he will also be more vulnerable to attack. All alone, he has become a target. But right now, he seems to be safe, nursing his pride under a large tree. Several weeks later, a subadult female Tyrannosaurus rex is drinking. This is the last surviving chick from Sue's egg clutch. After having her fill, she lays down to rest by the watering hole. Meanwhile, more creatures come down to the pond. The Dakota raptors approach the watering hole, but they aren't here for a drink. When they arrive at a mud puddle, it becomes apparent what they are doing. The matriarch Dakota raptor starts rolling in the mud, then suddenly, the rest of the pack start joining in. While it might look like the raptors are just having good fun, rolling in mud has a genuine purpose. In the hot sun, the raptors are constantly bothered by biting insects. This seemingly useless behavior is an adaptation to prevent them. It seems that the baby Dakota raptors have hatched from their eggs since we last saw the pack, and some of the youngest members are starting to play with one another. This pretend fighting helps the Dakota raptors hone in on hunting skills that will be vital for survival someday. Here we are seeing Dakota raptors showing great ingenuity, similar to our own ancestors. Unfortunately though, in the coming millennia, Dakota raptor along with many other species will start to gradually die off. They will continue to do this until 66 million years ago, when a giant asteroid nearly 15 kilometers wide smashes into the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico, dramatically speeding up the process. This crash causes massive amounts of debris to be thrown into the air in huge tidal waves that wash over large parts of the Americas. This finally sealed the fate of the dinosaurs, along with 75% of all life on Earth. All creatures weighing over 25 kilograms were killed off. In its wake, the event left a very strange world, which would eventually become what we know today. But for now, though, this baby Dakota raptor has a long and prosperous life ahead of him.